think that I said anything worthy of level of explosion.
Your rationalization of both sides. If you have to understand, since Kurt's death, there is no both sides anymore, Jessica.
Why did the DOJ take down the study that showed how much right-wing extremism?
What study was that? Which one? The one in The Economist that was sponsored by a group run by a guy in Antifa? That study that has been discredited by the Federalists? You're walking down a really bad alley right now.
Fox News contributor and self-proclaimed voice of reason Jessica Tarlov just got completely torched by Greg Gutfeld after trotting out her tired both sides routine in response to a deadly attack on an ICE detention facility. Welcome to Nurk News, I'm Nurkish. And it looks like Democrats and their media allies are back to their favorite trick, deflecting blame by claiming both sides are responsible. But when political violence erupts, notice how the context vanishes and liberals suddenly point fingers at everyone but themselves. Watch as Tarlov scrambles to excuse the growing wave of left-wing violence, only to be smacked down by Gutfeld with cold, hard reality.
And it has become too common to hear words like that, and that is a both sides problem. And last week we went through the litany of times that Donald Trump has used that rhetoric, and the fact that he came out after Charlie Kirk's tragic assassination and said the radical left did this, and then we heard a chorus of "we are at war," and that does permeate the entirety of American society, that they hear that from the top. We don't know
garbage.
that much.
That is absolute garbage.
It is
Continue. When something terrible happens
Greg,
when somebody gets murdered, you're saying, "How dare you be enraged by it?" Continue.
No. What I say is, how dare
there is no. I'll give you the both. No, Jessica, I'll give you the both sides.
Greg,
I agree with you. There is both sides. On one hand, you have the hard left, and on the other hand, you have the left.
Why are you?
They're the both sides of the same coin. Because you walk into this room and you're not reading it. There is no both sides. You don't have the evidence for that.
That's not true.
You can't say that Donald Trump says this. You guys act on it. You guys act on it. We don't. What do you want?
What do I want? I would like to talk about the specifics of who Vance Bolter actually was, since we fought about that last time. Because you make it out as if this was just that he knew Melissa Hortman.
Let's focus on this thing now. I'll destroy you on that later. But focus on this now. You want to go back?
Focus on this now. This looks like a kid that was inflamed either by the leftist cabal, or maybe he used his own eyes. And maybe he saw what's going on. Maybe there are people in his community who are being picked up by people from ICE. Maybe he saw raids at Home Depot. The common denominator in all of this is that we have young men, usually young white men, who have access to these guns and are carrying out these tragedies. They are nihilists. They live online. And again, do you think it's normal that people are writing on casings anti-ICE? They think that
It's amazing how quickly liberals like Jessica ignore the identity of a Catholic school shooter or dismiss attacks like the one in Zacatecas, where the attacker openly admitted race was a factor. But the moment the suspect is a white man, the script flips instantly. Suddenly, it's proof of their favorite narrative, that conservatives are the greatest threat in America. What you'll never hear in those conversations is math, because per capita reality shatters their storyline. And when it comes to nihilism, maybe Jessica should remind us all which side built its entire worldview on secular Marxism, repackaging destruction as virtue with sanitized phrases like reproductive health care. Here's a hint: it's not the side that just held a 5-hour memorial filled with gospel, grace, and forgiveness for millions to see.
Yes, I actually did see, Jessica, I did the deep dive on that study. That study was authored by a project that was run by a guy who says he was an Antifa. That is why that whole thing has been scrubbed, okay? It's real simple. You label someone a fascist or a racist or a Nazi, it makes you free to attack them, and that has been the ideology from the start. It's weird.
So why?
No.
Let me
talk.
Trump does it.
What?
Just tell me why it's okay.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Great. I'm enjoying this.
Okay. You won't be for long. The left calls Trump a hate monger. They've called me a hate monger because I ridicule the left. I ridicule protesters. I ridicule academia, Hollywood, the news media. I make fun of The View every day. I make fun of the UN. Guess what? No one acts on the things that I say because my side doesn't do that. We say people are stupid. We say people are wrong, but we don't say they're evil. That is your game, okay? And then you come and you say, okay, man, this is a mentally ill loner. Well, who do you think does this stuff? It's not Ben Affleck. It's not Tom Brady. It's not even Carrot Top. People who do this stuff are always that way. The question is, who points them in that direction? Why pick ICE? Why pick Kirk? Why target TV stations and put bombs under Fox trucks? Why vandalize memorials? Why kill kids in Catholic schools? Two things can be true. A person can be mentally ill, and you can be guiding him to that place in his life. That is how brainwashing works.
This is where the hypocrisy becomes almost comical. Jessica waves around a DOJ study claiming conservatives are more violent, as if that ends the debate. The same Democrats who scream that the FBI, DOJ and DES are corrupt whenever it benefits them suddenly treat a government report like holy scripture, and we are supposed to pretend Antifa-linked academics did not load it with bias. If the numbers were reversed, liberals would dismiss it as propaganda without hesitation. The truth is they cherry-pick facts depending on the outcome. What about you? Do Democrats really believe their own both sides spin, or is it just a shield to excuse the rhetoric that fuels violence? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help us out. Until next time, this has been Nerd News. Thanks for watching. This is where the hypocrisy turns downright laughable. Jessica waves around a DOJ study claiming conservatives are more violent, as if that ends the discussion. The same Democrats who cry that the FBI, DOJ, and intel agencies are corrupt whenever it suits them suddenly treat a government report like it's holy scripture. And we're supposed to ignore the fact that left-wing academics had their fingerprints all over it. Please. If the numbers were reversed, liberals would dismiss it as propaganda without hesitation. The reality is simple. They cherry-pick facts depending on whether the outcome serves their narrative. But here's the real question. Do Democrats actually believe their own both sides spin, or is it just a shield to excuse the rhetoric that fuels violence? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like and subscribe. It really helps us fight back against the noise. Until next time, this is Nerd News. Thanks for tuning in.